In the modern business environment, the CFO has to go far beyond traditional requirements. Even though the essence of the professional obligations of a CFO has not changed in principle, the role of a CFO today is much wider and much deeper. I can think of three main challenges that the CFO faces today, mainly caused by the modern nature of the business environment. Firstly, I would say is how a CFO ensures proper compliance across the corporation, especially in public interest entities. Secondly, is how a CFO handles the speed of change. Today, we have a huge amount of readily available data, and the CFO has the challenge to convert all that data into concise and useful information. And probably all changes that the CFO has encountered in the last 10 years might be less than what he or she is about to face in the next couple of years. And thirdly is how a CFO monitors and manages risks, having in mind that the profile of risk and fraud has changed significantly. In my opinion, the role of a CFO is one of the most important positions within an organization, as he or she needs to have a panoramic 360 degrees view of the operations of the company and also be able to perform effective diagnosis and provide useful information. This is because a CFO has to safeguard the integrity, the profitability and the sustainability of the business. As a general framework in the duties of a CFO, I would like to say that a CFO must always keep an independent and ethical mind, must act with integrity, must exhibit professional respect to all associates, and must not compromise on any professional or ethical issues. In my opinion, a CFO must have the courage and the strength to say no when compliance, ethics, governance, or good practice prescribe so. Of course, a CFO must have an excellent knowledge of all applicable laws and regulations. Similarly, a CFO must have an excellent knowledge of the operations of the company and of the industry in which the company operates. When I joined Petrolina, it was shortly after the company became public and listed its shares in the stock exchange. That means for decades, the company was owned and was run by a family like many other companies in Cyprus. So my first major task was to separate everything that had to do with the public company compared to all other privately owned companies in the group. That was not an easy task, as it required change in culture that had existed for decades. And as Peter Drucker, a well-known Austrian-born American author, has said, culture eats strategy for breakfast. I was very lucky to have the full support of the board in my effort, and the transition in culture, procedures and controls from a privately owned company to a public listed company was very successful, and that proved very beneficial to all parts, especially to the shareholders of the public company. And that was my major concern, and I was very happy when I saw it becoming a success. So that I can say is my biggest achievement, which also further helped me build a very competent team working in a professional environment with clear direction, and furthermore helped me build trust and solid relationships with all external advisors.